Julie, what did you think of the job you guys did defensively against Trae Young, particularly Ayo?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ayo worked really, really hard. Trae didn't have a great shooting night, but neither team really shot the ball particularly well. I think, probably coming out of the break, guys having a week off, trying to get back into playing, timing, rhythm, that stuff could be a little bit off. But, besides all that, I thought Ayo worked really, really hard. I thought Vooch and Tristan in pick and roll, we're up there trying to, give support and help. I thought collectively we did a good job. He obviously probably missed some shots that he wish he probably had back. But overall, I felt like the work that we put in to try to defend him, we put the work in tonight, and I thought Ayo did a great job on that end.
When you're down 3 late and you got to get stops, and then you go to the offensive end, are you just like DeMar's got this under control? What's your mindset?
Well, we had a play on. Just because there was a stoppage of play with the review on the out of bounds play. So we had a play on coming back. And then when we scored on that play, I think that may have been the play that, maybe the next play, DeMar got a 3-point play, but we scored on it, cut it to 1. DeMar's got the ball, and I'm just looking at the floor, and the floor is spaced correctly. And obviously I trust him in those situations. I think one of the things that ends up happening, it's kind of a catch-22. There's times, you look back at film and you wish you would have called a timeout. And there's other times you sit there and say, I wish you would have let the guys play through it. I just felt like they were trapping him. And with the way the floor was spaced, he was kind of in a good area where he could get to where he wanted to get to. And I thought we were organized well enough that if they did come and trap him, he could get the ball to the next guy. So, it all really, really depends, on what the situation is. Because if we would have really got bogged down in the backcourt, maybe I would have called one, because once he scored, I think there was 15 seconds to go. But, with him with the ball and the fact that there was a stoppage of play, those 2 possessions, I felt like we were fairly organized on both of them.
You mentioned guys maybe shaking off rust after the break, but DeMar, 15-21, 37 points, it gets over 35 again. Are you beyond even surprised at this point when he puts together performances like this?
I mean, he's spectacular. I didn't, and again, I'm anxious to watch the film. I think I mentioned this before the game. I think when you have guys coming back, it's always a little bit different when guys go out. But when guys start coming back, like Zach's been in and out quite a bit, and we've got to really work hard to fight for a rhythm offensively. I thought there was some times where, we got kind of bogged down, and they're almost having to relearn playing with each other again, so to speak. We got a little bit, I thought, out of sorts there, maybe in the middle of the third quarter. I thought DeMar kind of came back in with that second unit and did some really good things. They were trapping him, and I think he found the open man and made good decisions. And, we generated some pretty good looks. But he's just got incredible composure and poise. And you feel like when you get him to good spots on the floor with really good spacing, he's going to make the best play, and actually I thought it helped Kobe. He kind of got on a little bit of a run, considering he started off a little bit slow. I think it was maybe 1 for 5. But, he got off to a good start, because I think a lot of it was they were, trapping DeMar. The ball got sprayed out. And the one thing I've always said about Zach and DeMar and Vooch, I thought Vooch could have had maybe some more shots in the middle of the floor that he was looking to pass it. Is all those guys are really unselfish. They're really good team guys, and they trust their teammates, and they'll move the ball. But I think when DeMar gets to his spots and feels like he's in rhythm, he's going to take those shots. But, what he's done, however many games it's been now, and really just the whole year, he's just been remarkable. I mean, he's been incredible. I just been, his poise and his calmness in situations is really, really amazing.
Sorry.
Yeah, I thought Ayo worked really hard, but I also thought that in a lot of situations there was a lot of opportunity that he was able to grow from, and he kind of made and course corrected during the game, because he got rejected a lot, in pick and roll. There was times he didn't have really good control of the ball. But like as the game wore on and the more he figured out, the better and better I thought he got as the game went on. I thought to start the game, he did a really, really good job. But there was a couple times where he kind of tried to beat Trey to the screen and Trey kind of turned it down. And, we had talked about it during some timeouts and at halftime, but like, he's always a guy that like, when he knows he's made a mistake, like he really, I think, takes that inventory and you can expect that he's going to really do better the next time. But yeah, I mean, I think the experience that Ayo's gotten with Lonzo and Alex being out is going to help our team. I've always said this, it's not necessarily what's happened to us as it relates to some of the injuries and COVID and those kind of things. It's almost like what's happened for us, and what's happened for us is we've kind of been able to develop another really, really good player and defender in Ayo that gives us a perimeter guy defensively. So that's been a really, really good part of all this.
Yeah, how did Zach look?
I thought physically he looked fine. I just think that when you miss 3 games like he did, when you have a week with the All-Star break, you have 1 day of practice, he's going to have to find his way. I don't worry about him offensively. To me, it's more about how we're playing. And really for an extended period of time as it relates to Alex and Lonzo and even Zach, if you look back, we have had to play without them. And I think if you look at the minutes that Ayo's carried, DeMar's carried, Vooch has carried in the absence of those guys, it's been a lot. Now here he comes back and it's almost like everybody's trying to figure out, how we all fit in together, roles, those kind of things, because you have to learn how to play without those guys. So, I mean, I thought physically he looked fine. He'll gain a rhythm. The more he plays, the more he's out there. And I think this can be a really, really good game for us, moving forward. Looking at, there was times I thought we were really slow on offense and got bogged down. And there was some times I thought we had some really great possessions, and how can we become a little bit more consistent, as guys start to come back in.
Billy, beyond his numbers, it was really apparent how much talking Tristan Thompson did at the defensive end. Like, you can just see how vocal he is. Did you sense that? And what kind of impact did you think he had on the game tonight?
Oh, I thought he was great tonight. He was really, really good. I think he was great on the bench. I think that when you've been around the amount of winning he's been around and part of championship teams, you gather a pretty good understanding, of the things that go into winning. And I think DeMar's really got that too. And I think having even Alex Caruso's got that. Like, there's a part of like guys are searching to win or want to win. And once they get there, they kind of understand what goes into it. And, Tristan's, I think, voice, on the bench, his voice on the court was really, really impactful. And, the way he played, because we had a stretch there. I think the second and third quarters, those were 30-point quarters for us defensively. And the third quarter was a tough one, but he was in the huddle and talking about being more physical and those kind of things. And, I think that that's really, really good. And I thought when he did get in there and subbed in for Vooch at the end of the third, he really had a presence out there. We kind of gained a little bit of control of the game. And he gave us really good minutes considering he's only had 1 day of really practice and, was learning how to play with everybody. I give our guys a lot of credit. We hung in there, we competed. It wasn't an easy game for us offensively. I thought, like I said, there was moments that we got stagnant, bogged down, and there was no flow and rhythm. Defensively, I thought the way we started the game was really, really good, really good. I do think that we've got to, we can't let, when we're struggling maybe a little bit offensively, to bleed into our defense. And I thought there was a period of time there in that third quarter where we were giving up way too much at the basket. And we've got to have a little bit more of a presence at the basket, than we did. I thought the fourth quarter was much better defensively. We did a good job of kind of, buckling down. And, again, we're not going to be perfect. You're looking for more consistency more than anything else. I thought there was moments we were really good defensively, and I thought there was moments we weren't so good. And again, this is a really good offensive team. I don't know how Nate feels having a week off, coming back after the All-Star break. They're starting to get whole, they've been elite offensively all year long. They're a hard team to guard. Both teams didn't shoot it great from three tonight. I thought there was some looks that we had that I felt were good looks that we could make that we didn't. And I think they probably felt the same way as well. So for us playing against them as good as they are offensively, I do think that probably having a week off both teams there's a rhythm everybody's trying to get back to. But I do think that looking at the tape of what we did defensively and how we guarded certain things in terms of what Casey was talking about, Trae Young, Bogdanovich, Gallinari's post-ups, like there's a lot of things I think that we can clean up and get better from playing against this team because they have a lot of answers at a lot of positions offensively. Never mind Lou Williams is coming off the bench. The guys that have come off the bench, Bogdanovich, like those guys are hard to guard. Okay. Thank you, guys.
How you doing? How you doing?
Can we start?
Yeah, go ahead.
On that last possession, well, no, I guess it wasn't the final possession, but the one where you had Trey and fought over the screen, and I think you got a piece of the shot too. 15 seconds. Can you talk us through that play from your perspective?
I mean, they kept running the same play where they were trying to get the switch on Gallinari. And I told Javante, like, I'm going to just stay with him. Try to get a stop. I'm really just try to remember all his combinations because I knew that, the good player he is, all-star, they always go to their go-to moves when it's time to, when it's winning time. And you saw DeMar got to his go-to move when it's winning time. So pretty much I just wanted to give him length. Of course, not give up a three and just try to contest without fouling. Then that's what I did.
How did you feel like you defended him throughout the game tonight?
I think I defended him pretty well. He's very crafty. One of the best, point guards in our league, of course. But I think I did a pretty good job.
Did you have a good idea what his like a thought in mind about what his go-to move is that you were trying to stop?
I mean, yeah, they said so many pick and rolls for him. So his rejects is very lethal. And he's so crafty with the ball that sometimes he try to get you leaning going one way and then cross back. And I don't want to give him a three. We were down one. So I knew that, a three, we go down four, with like 30 seconds left. I know that that'll put us in a disadvantage. So in my mind, I know that the least I can do is give a mid-range. So once he crossed back, I was just staying solid, knowing that not giving up a three. And then once he got in the paint, I tried to use my wingspan to disrupt him.
Billy talked about how much he felt like he grew into this game and kind of made adjustments throughout it. What did you feel like maybe you learned from the game from first quarter to fourth quarter?
I mean, just, we got 2 all-stars on the team. So, every game I'm out there just trying to, be a leader, be a vocal guy, and just trying to get everybody involved and, ease my way into the game. But defensively, I think that, just mixing up different coverages on Young. I'm trying to, times when it's time to go under, go over, pick up full court, just basically trying to give them different looks, good players, and give them the same look over and over again and get accustomed to it. And that's when they can, be lethal. So I just want to give them different looks.
More Billy talked about how vocal Tristan was on the bench already tonight. Was there anything that he specifically said to you or anything that he worked with you on?
Oh, yeah. I just told Tristan, I'm like, he a workhorse. His energy is crazy. He's a high energy guy, uplifting. He wants to win. You can tell he wants to win. You can tell he has won a championship. He has that championship mannerism, and he's a veteran that we needed.
DeMar's obviously been good for y'all all season, but this run, the last 8 games, whatever it's been, like what stands out to you? What can you say about it?
I would say this is history. We're witnessing history. What we are witnessing right now is something that peoples are going to remember for a long time. And it's one of those things where it's going to be a record for a pretty long time. He wants to win. He makes the right play at all the times. And one thing I like about DeMar, he knows, when it's time to, be selfish a little bit, you know, when we need a basket. And he's been delivered. He always delivers for us.
All right, thank you, Al.
Thanks, Al.
Short, sweet. Thank you. We're easing going back into the second half of the season. Thanks, man.